Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained this morning, but let me pull up the Steam page for Alchemortis. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be continuing on with the Werewolf that we were working on yesterday, but we'll get into that in just a second. I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting on Steam. It's the best way to help me out right now. So if you're interested in a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you can use alchemy to create your own builds and synergies, then Alchemortis is definitely for you. Check it out on Steam. Give it a wishlist if you're interested. You can also support the game financially on Patreon. If you subscribe at this $15 a month tier here, I will actually send you an Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches. So that way you don't need to buy it on Steam. So this is kind of like a pre-purchase, and your name will be listed in the in-game Alchemortis credits, but you also get some nice stuff like unlimited course access. So if you've been wanting to take one or more of my courses and you just want to grab all these perks all at once, that's a good way to do it. But I also have the Udemy courses available for sale individually on Udemy. So check those out if you're interested. There's a number of different courses and they all cover a slightly different game topic. So yeah, you could also like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, follow on Twitch, all that good stuff. And let's see. All right, let's get right into it. Hello, Johan. Just couldn't keep your fingers off game development for a single day, could I? No. Hey, everybody, April Fool's, Alchemortis is canceled. Ha ha ha. I'm so clever. Anyway. Hello, Emerson. Magma Sloth, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Ninja Link, good to see you. I'm back to work today. Oh no. Oh no. It's okay, we could work together. All right. So, if you recall, yesterday we were trying to make it so that this strange man will transform into a werewolf when Echo is done on him or when he casts Echo. So I've got this new self-ability type tracker, which, yeah, it's basically just tracking self-abilities. And then I did need to fix this, this needs to, because of the way that the iTransient state works, it's resetting the state after combat ends, but before the combat victory happens. And this is a combat victory listener here. So the problem I was having yesterday is that this value for this tracker would be 0 because it would be reset. So I'm actually just caching the value now. So I've got this snapshot value here. And what snapshot value does is it just stores the value that existed before the reset state, and then that can be used inside of the this post-combat victory listener. So that means that value is not going to, it's going to be stale, but it's going to be stale in a good way, which is kind of weird. But so anyway, we've got that going, and this is actually causing the base card, this Strange Man card, to be destroyed. So the next step is to get the werewolf in place for that, which I did start doing a little bit. It doesn't look that great, but I might have to redo it. Werewolves are hard. Werewolves are hard, but like I started drawing this kind of thing. I don't know what I mean, I guess it looks I think the mouth is weird. I don't know. Werewolves are very, very hard to draw. I spent like an hour and a half last night going through different iterations of this. I think this is the best one so far, but it definitely needs some work. But yeah, so 2x2 card. We'll use this as like the placeholder art for now. I think I just need to figure out what to do, how to make this mouth look a little bit better. And then to finish up the shading, and maybe it will be okay, but yeah, we'll see. We will see. Anyway, I am unsure if I can trust anything I hear on stream now that they make the April Fool's joke. Yeah. Hello, the Mad Dog Project. Snub Bill, thank you for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Always good to see you. Welcome back. Hello, Rookie Tookie. Good to see you as well. Indie Private, good to see you. Yummers. Look at that. Hello, Llama Toast. Welcome back. Looks crazy good. Thank you. Hello, Arrow Cinema. You missed E in the word strange in announcement. Yes, I did. Yes. We'll fix that. We will fix that. Okay. But the first thing that I want to do is get that werewolf added. Well, we might as well fix this. So the strange man something something. So we got to figure out some language for that. But I also want to do card overflow manager dot add cards to overflow. Add card to overflow. Card factory dot create card. Let's do this first. Card factory create card. Card ID dot werewolf. This should be create card from ID. Is owned by player true. What is this whole... I don't even know what this is owned by player does anymore. Do I even want to go look? Is player owned? Where is this used even? Interesting. Okay. It's fine. I had to go after the strange person art yesterday. Is the transformation requirement for the card final? The echo thing. I wouldn't say it's final. I think that that's what we're using right now, but it's possible that that could change. But yeah, that's what I'm moving forward with for now. It was a placeholder, yeah. I mean, I think I will still have an announcement here, but anyway, werewolf create card from ID, werewolf.set tier to context.base card.tier. That's fine. Get board owner, try remove card. I think that's fine. Add card to overflow werewolf. So we just want to make sure the werewolf matches the tier. We may also want to carry over some abilities, but let's do this. Okay. So we need some text here. Maybe I'll just say the strange man has disappeared. Something like that. Now the question becomes like, what is this going to look like when there's multiple, when you have multiple strange men on the board? That's kind of funny. We'll figure that out. But anyway, so we've got the werewolf. The werewolf has no abilities, but let's just go ahead and check and see what happens. We will just go ahead and check. Can I help you, cat? Okay, so let's add item strange man. Okay, we're gonna throw an echo on him. And then I think that's it. Oh my gosh, this is one of the highest effort cards I've ever done in this game. Highest effort item, sorry. Can you stop, cat? Why are you meowing? Come here. Oh no! Okay. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Okay. Anyway, I guess I'll have to take one of these. Alright. So let's see what happens here. So I should get the werewolf if I win this combat anyway. Uh-oh, am I not gonna win? Oh, I did not win. Okay, we should be good now. The strange man has disappeared. So it's like, okay, where did he go? So I take this and then the overflow. Oh, a werewolf, which I forgot to configure it properly, but now we've got the werewolf. Heck yeah, brother. The strange person transforms in battle if there's enough free space left or right from him and the battle takes a certain amount of turns. It would solve the issue of not enough inventory space for the larger werewolf card on working against burst builds who end fights too quickly. Yeah, so the problem is, I think the more... So, I mean, I think this is a problem with the current approach too, but the problem is I kind of want to keep the transformation requirements like hidden, so it's a little bit of a surprise. Like, I think it would be a really fun moment if somebody stumbles upon the werewolf transformation, or if somebody is able to deduce the transformation requirements from like the flavor text or something. And so if the requirements are too, like if the transformation requirements are too complex, I would almost need to make those explicit, right? It could transform back after the battle or stay a werewolf for a while. Shrinking the card would always work. That's true. That's true. So we definitely need werewolf abilities. I'm gonna keep going with what I have here, but we can always redo it later. We can always redo it later. Oh, this needs to be excluded from the loot table as well, because you can't, this is a card that you shouldn't be able to get normally. So that's going to be excluded from loot table. Let's see. So we'll add some flavor text to that. But I think that whole flow is working. So before we work on adding abilities, there's a problem here. This is hidden. I don't know why this is hidden is not taking effect. I think maybe I did this is hidden in the wrong spot. We may be looking at a little bit of a rework here. Not gonna lie, I was half expecting this to be an April Fool's joke and we just click into a stream of a random game. No, I am not much of a fan of April Fools. Unfortunately, or fortunately. But anyway. So that is hidden property. I think this is actually kind of weird. Let me think about this. Is hidden. So I have this ability to get all composed abilities exclude hidden, but I think that this exclude hidden, get composed abilities excluding enchants. This is only used for the card stuff. So I actually think the is hidden flag should be handled at the UI level instead of at the base card level. Get composed abilities excluding enchants. Oh, this may have been done before I had the is hidden property as well. So let's actually do this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. We're going to do a little bit of reworking here. Get all composed abilities. We'll make that public now. Get rid of bool exclude hidden. Move this up here. Okay. Yeah, we don't need any of this now, and we don't need any of this. Okay. Card.getAllComposedAbilities. And then we'll just do .where x not x is hidden. So we're going to do the hidden filtering on the UI side instead of in the base card side. Get composed abilities excluding enchants. Get all composed abilities. Where it's not hidden. So any hidden ability really is just, all it's saying is that it's hidden from the UI. So that makes sense. Now the question is, was I using that anywhere else? No. So is that just going to work? So now if I go and I add the strange man, is that hidden ability just not going to show up now? If so, that's a lot easier. Add item strange man. Yeah, look at that. The innate ability is no longer being shown. Yeah, I don't know why I handling the hidden case in the base card. The base card should not care about what abilities are hidden on the UI or not. The base card should just care like, what are my abilities? So now the UIs are the things that hide the abilities conditionally. That's a lot easier. I think the reason why it ended up being that way is because before I had the concept of a hidden ability, I had enchants, and enchantments could add abilities to the base card. So the way that it was initially set up is I had a way of fetching all of the abilities, excluding the abilities that were added by enchantments. But now I introduced this is hidden flag to make my life a little bit easier, but I just didn't update the base card to account for that. So I think that's good. Oh, and this still has the innate keyword, so we need to figure that out. Get rid of that. Base composed ability, innate. Not is alchemizable, and not is hidden. Actually, I wonder if I should just do this. I think what I would do actually is I would do if is hidden, return that. Yeah, I shouldn't be surfacing any explanations for any of the abilities that are hidden, which would be all of the sub abilities here. So I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Let's see. Okay, so that innate keyword is no longer showing up. So there's a hidden innate ability on the card here, on the item, that, yeah, just is not surfaced to the player. But since it's innate, it won't be transferred in the hidden fashion to anything else. And also, wait, what else was I going to say? Well, it's not going to be transferred to anything else because it's innate. I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's just give this another gander for old time's sake. And then we have to figure out what kind of abilities. Now, the werewolf, I think I want the werewolf to be very powerful. Number one, like, I feel like it should be a very significant reward for the players who discover this interaction. But number two, like, for the players that already know how the interaction works, like, you still have to figure out a way to get echo onto this guy, right? So that is something that needs to be rewarded, I think. Tapeworm, goodbye. The strange man has disappeared. I love that. And then you get a werewolf. Sweet. Okay. So, what should the werewolf do? Probably test with the Banshee's head as well. I'm almost 100% positive that that's going to work, but let's go ahead and test it. I'm going to say, no, I'm going to say I'm 100% positive. I'm going to say I'm 100% positive it's going to work. And if I'm wrong, then I will end the stream. I will end the stream if I'm wrong. So, the stakes are high. Oh my gosh, this board is impossible to kill. There we go. Strange man has disappeared. That's super cool. That's a really cool interaction. I'm glad that I spent the time to implement that. So anyway, that does work. I was 100% correct, as predicted. So now we need to give the werewolf some abilities. All right. So I think I would like to do some kind of like multi-attack thing. Ability. Ooh, let's do this. Ability builder dot damage 8. Ability builder dot damage. Let's do 10, then 8. So we've got like a multi-attack going on. But then what we're going to do is we're going to do bleed based on damage dealt. New conditional, or no, new composed ability. Do we want to make it do bleed? Well, the strange man enchants transfer. I might feel bad if you had like 3 enchants and all of them were tossed. Yeah, we can do that. I think I'm already kind of doing that, like the Hellspawn egg here. Whenever this transforms, it's actually taking all of the abilities and putting them onto the new card. I don't think I want to do that in the case of the werewolf. I think the werewolf is going to replace the abilities, but we can definitely take the enchants. So werewolf dot add enchant. Okay, I need to change this. Public void add enchants. That's fine. Add enchants. We're going to do context.basecard.enchants. Get enchantments. Dot select x dot duplicate. So we're going to transfer all of the enchants over to the werewolf as well. What else? So I'm transferring the tier over from the strange man to the werewolf, and I'm also transferring the enchantments over. Yeah, that should work, right? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's try this. var self ability type tracker is equal to new self ability type tracker. Type of ability, no, type of damage. Actually, I actually want to do maybe new damage dealt provider. Damage type count instances. Damage type dot damage dealt provider. Oh, this is dealing. Oh, this is get damage dealt by card. Get damage dealt since ability execution. Shoot. Okay, let's try this. Base card, buy card. I don't know why I designed these abilities this way. So this damage dealt provider is just basically taking the total damage that was dealt to a board, but I don't have any way of tracking it right now by card. I'm trying to think of what I want to do with this. This is kind of a mess, but let's just create a new ability in here. Self damage dealt provider, and we'll modify this over self ability type tracker. Self damage dealt provider. I actually think I'll probably want to copy this stuff. Cached turn context, damage type, count instances. So get value, get damage dealt since ability execution, buy card is equal to cached turn context. Oh, self card. Damage type, base card ability this, number of previous turns, we'll just do 1. I'm not counting instances. There's got to be a better way to do this. Where is this used? Oh, card damage dealt provider. Oh, I already have one. Okay. So there's still a problem, get damage dealt count. So I think I do want to do this. Let's make this an int amount, int count. Aggregate across, oh, that just returns an int. Okay. This is a mess. Count instances equals false. Get damage dealt count by card. Okay. Get damage dealt count. Sensibility execution. All right. I really need to fix this up a little bit. Anyway. True. Okay. Goodness gracious. I like the idea of this guy so far. I do love my bleed builds. Yeah. So I think, yeah, so the werewolf is going to apply bleed based on the amount of times it dealt damage. So let's do var, what am I looking for? Value scalar equal to new value scalar, self ability type tracker. This is actually wrong. Self damage tracker. I might rename this. Rename this to self damage dealt provider. Okay. Hello, Clickertail. Welcome back. I managed to hand in all my work today. I've never moved the cursor on the screen so fast before. Nice. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Junie. Welcome back. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Good to see you. Maybe we'll do 4 to start. Do we want to do 4? Maybe we'll do 3. Value scalar. Let's do current bleed per damage. Okay. Set multiplier. Var bleed is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability. Value scalar. New bleed 0. Return ability, new ability builder. Ability builder dot ability configuration. Key is equal to bleed per damage. Abilities, self damage tracker, and then bleed. We'll rename that. Scaling func, tier. Scalar is equal to ability scalars.getBleed scalar. Current bleed per damage is equal to scalar base bleed per damage tier. Set multiplier current bleed per damage. Okay, description func. Apply. Bleed for each time this item dealt damage. Okay, is there anything else that I'm missing here? Is there anything else? I mean, maybe that might be strong enough. For each time this item dealt damage. For each. That's probably okay for now. I still need to do like a language pass across the game, but alrighty. I might make this guy... Oh, I did make him a minion in a ritual too. Very nice. Okay. Alright, let's give it a shot. Check the whole flow, make sure it all works. Of course, I need to finish the art. Let's see. Am I actually... Did I write this down? So I need to finish Werewolf art. Add Strange Man flavor text. Add Werewolf flavor text. Okay. Let's put this here, put that there, put this there. We'll go into a combat encounter now. The strange man has disappeared. 10 damage, 8 damage, apply 3 bleed for each time this item dealt damage. So now we'll go ahead and test that. So I guess the idea with this one is you'd want to just stack more damage on it or take the bleed off via alchemy. All right, let's see. So this should be applying 6 bleed. Yep, it applied 6 bleed because it dealt damage twice. Nice. And then that bleed will go up by 1 every time. Every time you what? You upgrade it. Now the other thing is I might change the crit chance of this guy. Let's do critical chance of 0.2 and we'll call that good. Okay, I think that it's just about done. I just need to finish up the art and add the flavor text and everything. So, I don't know if I want to do that right now. I don't think I need to do this one anymore. Innate abilities can be replaced by Bathead reagent. This is a bug that I need to fix, but we also need to make sure the Hellspawn egg stores its data in the save file. Let's take a look at this one though. So I'm going to modify the strange man for testing purposes. All right. So I saw an issue last night when I was testing where the innate ability of the strange man was being replaced by the Bathead Echo. Oh, but this has an empty ability slot. What am I going to do? Well, let's just remove the confused then. We'll try it. So I don't know why my alchemy system shouldn't be removing or considering innate abilities at all. So I don't know why that Bathead would have replaced it, but let's see. Okay, that was not an issue. It could have just been, you know, I was in a generally broken state while I was working on this guy, so that may have played a factor, but played a role. No, see, it removed the innate ability. Okay, so that definitely is wrong. So let's take a look at the Bathead. Alchemy added ability. Contribute effect. Get target cards. So effects.added abilities here. This is used in the alchemy input config. Get abilities from reagents. All reagent added abilities. If empty ability slots is greater than 0, then it's just going to add the abilities. Replaceable base indices. Card to preserve abilities contains ability. I think that I just need that check in there, so I don't know why I didn't have that check before, but interesting. Well, so there's a couple of ways to fix it. I mean, I could add the innate abilities to this card to preserved abilities array, or I can do the fix that I did there, which is that I just don't include any replaceable. I don't include any index, which is an innate ability, as a replaceable index. It might be, maybe it would be better to add it here. Because I could do card.get base composed abilities dot where x not x dot is alchemizable. I could do that there and then I don't need to worry about it here. Maybe that would be the better thing to do. Where is this card to preserved abilities used? So it's only used in 2 places. It's literally only used for this check here. So I think it makes sense to add it to the preserved abilities array ahead of time. That should probably be okay. So let's go ahead and just do this a couple times, make sure it's not replacing that innate ability. Okay. Okay. Let's just do a couple more, make sure it's not going to do anything. Good. Good. I'm just going to do this a bunch. I'm pretty sure this works now, but doesn't hurt to be extra sure. Okay. Cool. Alrighty, so we can call that one fixed. So I need to undo the strange man change. We don't want that to be there, but make sure to preserve innate abilities in alchemy. That was quite a big bug, so I'm glad I've fixed that. Hello, Ariane. Welcome. Sent you a message in Udemy's chat. Also, what is your mic? Oh, my mic is the... yeah, I saw your message. The mic is the... It's that classic Shure mic that every podcaster uses, like SM7 or something. Shure SM7B, is that what it is? Yeah. SM7B. Not the pot again. Strange man as he's thrown yet again with a bat head, yeah. You're welcome. Okay. So that's done. That bug is fixed. Let's also make sure the Hellspawn egg stores its data in the save file. I actually don't know. Let's see. What would happen? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, so we need to make sure the Hellspawn egg stores its state. So it's not saving the number of combat victories that it has. So what I need to do here is I need to turn off ignore save file. And then I also need to go here, delete this, delete that. And then let's do project settings, Hellspawn egg. Get rid of these things here. All right, so I go in, I've got my save file enabled. Let's add item God mode. So I added the God mode item. Might as well just go this way. Okay. All right, so we go into combat here. This says 4 victories remaining. I kill that thing. Oh, look, another Hellspawn egg. Do that. Okay, so now this should have 3 victories remaining. But if I quit to menu and I reload the game, so I continue, this says 4 victories remaining now. So it's not saving that state. So that's something that we need to do. And we will handle that after I take a quick 3-minute break. And it should be interesting. I'll be able to show you how my persistent state system works. How I can just store arbitrary data in the save file and have that automatically reconstructed. It's pretty cool. So stick around for that, but I'll be right back in just 3 minutes and we'll continue on. Alrighty, I'm back. So let's figure out how we want to save the hellspawn egg stuff. So I already have kind of like a pattern in place for this. So the flagrum here, this has persistent state. That's being stored in that. Combat victory transform. So let me think about this. This is using a combat victory provider. On post combat victory. So here's what I might actually rework this a little bit. So the hellspawn egg, what I can do is I can actually probably make this. I can probably make this a fully composed ability. So composed transform is equal to new composed ability. So we're going to need a couple of things. So var current victories is equal to 0. So var current victories is equal to 0. We're going to do var generic combat victory listener is equal to new post combat victory listener. We have a combat victory provider, which is weird. I don't know why that's in here. Post combat victory. Oh, this is on combat victory. Can I do var generic combat victory listener? New generic combat. So we have combat post. What the heck? Post combat victory listener. So we do the on combat victory first and then on post combat victory. I guess that's just so I can control the life cycle a little bit more. So we might as well do, so we have this generic post combat victory listener. Let's just create a generic combat victory listener. Generic combat victory listener. We'll just copy this, paste this. I combat victory listener on combat victory. Is that what it is? That right? I combat victory. Oh, this doesn't accept any arguments here. Okay. So we just call the action here. This is just an action with no arguments. Generic combat victory listener. Pretty straightforward. Generic combat victory listener. We're just going to go ahead and increment the current victories there. Okay, so then we have the generic post-combat victory listener. This is the context here. So combat victory transform. So basically, what I can do here is just copy all of this, paste that in there. If current victories is not equal to, we'll just do const int required victories equals 4. Okay, we do all this stuff. Card registry, card ID dot imp. We need link here. Oh, post combat victory listener. There we go. Okay, so that's basically it. Now I do need to do the ability builder, ability configuration. Combat victory transform, generic post combat victory listener. Okay, so that just copied over the exact description. That's nice. Is alchemizable equals false. Is copyable equals false. Is or can echo equals false. And we also need to do scaling func is equal to tier. This just becomes empty. Okay, so this can become now the composed transform. So now we actually need to save the data. So this combat victory transform is no longer used, I don't think. So we can delete that. So combat victory transform, we delete this. And then combat victory provider, I don't think that's used anymore. Let me just make sure. Right, so we can get rid of that. Combat victory provider, delete, remove. So what I could do, I think I have a generic provider actually. Generic value provider, yeah. So if I ever needed a provider like this, this just allows me to wrap basically any value in so that it has this I ability value provider, because some abilities require I ability value provider. So what I could do is I could just like use an anonymous function to define what the value should be returned, and then I can pass this generic value provider along to whatever needs to use an I ability value provider. So that's kind of like what these generic things are. These generic things are basically just concrete classes that implement an interface, but they accept as a constructor argument like just some kind of anonymous function so that I can basically just define whatever happens without having to create concrete classes for every unique thing I need to do. So that's basically what I'm doing here. So this generic post combat victory listener, this is just basically allowing me to run this anonymous function here when the post victory listener should be called, right? So now we need the state. So we're going to do private record state public int current victories. So now we do I actually forgot how to do this. Persistent state. Oh, I passed that along as an argument, right? So let's go to the hellspawn egg. Let's define the persistent state. New persistent state. So the getter is we return a new state object with the current victories here, and then set current victories equals state.current victories. And then we pass that persistent state down here. And that's it. That's literally all I need to do to store data in the save file for an ability. Because this persistent state object, this handles the serialization and deserialization of a generic. So this just works, this get state set state, this just works based off of like a generic object. But because I'm using a generic type, I have the type safety wherever that type is passed in. So I know, for instance, that this getter, this needs to return a state object that's defined here. And I know that the setter is being called with an argument that is of type state. And then that just gets serialized to JSON and deserialized from JSON under the hood during the load from the save file step. So I think that's it. So now we should be able to test it. Let's go ahead and test it. Hello, Gusta. Welcome. Good to see you again. SC2. Hello. Have you ever worked with frameworks like Mono or Simular before switching to Godot? I have not, no. The main engine that I used before Godot was GameMaker. I hate this channel. April Fools. Hello, Aliens. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to do a combat victory, 3 victories remaining. We'll go to a save point here, which is just back at the map here. We're going to quit to menu. Go back in, and we should see 3 victories remaining. There we go, 3 victories remaining. So that data is being stored properly now. And we can just go ahead and make sure that yep, see 2 victories remaining now. And then if we want to see what that looks like in the save file, if you're interested, we can just go down here, look for the hellspawn egg, and we can see that we have this persistent state object here in the JSON. So this is the abilities list. This is an ability object. So there's an object for each ability that's on the item. We have the provenance, which basically tells me where the ability comes from. So instead of trying to serialize all these abilities, which are all basically defined as lambdas or anonymous functions, instead what I do is I track where was the ability originally defined. And then what I can do is I can go into that card. So this provenance basically tells me the source is a card. The card that it's coming from is the hellspawn egg. And the key of the ability on that card is combat victory transform. So when I load up this save, I basically go and grab this ability with this key off the hellspawn egg, and then I override any changes that have been made. So if it's become non-alchemizable, or if it's absorbed, so on and so forth, but then I can also apply the persistent state to it. So you can see that the persistent state says combat victories 2 in there. And then I can go here. So I have 2 victories remaining. And we'll just make sure the transformation works. Make sure I didn't break anything when I moved that over. So we have 1 victory remaining on this. I'm just going to give this another quit to menu just to make sure. Come back in. This says 1 victory remaining. And that should be actually changed. Okay, start combat. Boom. And we got the imp. Nice and good. Hello, Scruns. YouTube recommended you 2 days ago, and what a recommendation. This makes me want to work on games again, but I don't have any ideas. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're getting value / entertainment / inspiration out of the stream. Yeah, coming up with ideas is hard. I mean, usually the way that I come up with my ideas is I just I find a game that I kind of want to emulate. Like, oh, I enjoy playing a certain type of game, and I go, oh, it would be fun to make that kind of game, right? And then from that point, just figuring out how to put a slightly different spin on it. So like the whole reason I wanted to make Alka Mortis is because I played the Bazaar for like a couple hours, and I was like, this is a really fun sort of idea, but I don't really like the PvP aspect of these kind of like auto battler games, because it's just like, it's so sweaty, you know? Like, I've never liked collectible card games that are multiplayer, like whether you're talking about real life ones like Magic or whatever, just because it's like there's always that one guy that has min-maxed beyond like what is feasible for me as a mere mortal to do. And so I just get wrecked every time, right? Now you can say, well, just get good. And yeah, I understand that. But anyway, I thought, oh, it'd be fun to do like an auto battler that kind of borrows the same ideas, but it's a single player roguelite, you know, because I liked the way the main inspiration that I got from the Bazaar is like how not every encounter is a combat encounter, right? In the Bazaar, you know, you do your combat encounter, but then you could have like 2 or 3 encounters that are just strict upgrades. You can go to a shop, you can get a passive thing, whatever else. So I liked that pacing. I liked how there was like, oh, it's not all combat all the time. It's like there's a good chunk of time that's being spent just like deciding what upgrades you want to take, right? And so that's kind of like the main thing that came from the Bazaar in this game, is that there's a lot of opportunities to just like not do combat and just like go around the map and just pick up upgrade, like 3 or 4 upgrades in a row before you even encounter the next combat, right? So I think just like finding a game that you enjoy and then just putting like a slight spin on it is a good way of coming up with an idea that is sufficiently different enough that no one's going to reasonably accuse you of like plagiarizing or anything, you know what I mean? Okay. Hello, December A. I am observing the development for 5 months. It's incredibly cool to see the project evolve from an almost empty demo. Yeah, thank you. It is. There has been a lot of progress on this game in a relatively short amount of time. But I always said, like, if I knew what I was doing from the start, this game would have been released by now. But oh well. That's what I'm doing, taking a card game you can play with a normal deck of cards and turning it into a sci-fi roguelite with custom classes, but the base mechanics are the same. Yeah. Makes it much easier to get the ball rolling. Having a game loop that you know is fun and interests people makes it much easier to expand upon it and add your own flair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. It's just like find a game that you like and then just emulate it to a large degree, but then put your own spin on it. Because like you said, a lot of the legwork has been done for you. You know, it's like you know, there's a reason why every roguelike, for example, has like similar patterns, is because those are the patterns that work, right? Like those are the game mechanics and the flow that works. So a lot of the tough design problems are solved for you if you just like sort of borrow the game loop or the mechanics of different games in the genre you're making. But just like putting your own theme on it and adding your own like unique mechanics is yeah, it's a good way to do it. I loved making homebrew Magic the Gathering decks. I have some puzzle game ideas, but they've essentially all been made in the last few years. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I think probably puzzle games are probably that genre where you kind of do need to figure out a unique puzzle mechanic. I mean, maybe not like super unique, but like I don't think anyone can do like Baba is you, you know what I mean? It's like that is completely unique, and then if you ever were to just use that same mechanic, people would just be like, wait, this is just Baba is you know what I mean? I think puzzle games are a little bit weird like that because I mean, part of a puzzle game is like the novelty of it, right? The novelty of having a new mechanic that you have to engage with, but I guess puzzle games can also be solved, right? Like once you understand how the mechanic works and how, yeah, once you understand how the mechanic works, it's like it's solved at that point, right? So if another game comes out that has that same mechanic, it's like, well, is there really going to be anything interesting here? Okay. All right, so let's figure out, let's see, let's look at my backlog here. I think that's done. This is no longer necessary. This one is done. I don't think I'm going to do this one. Sorry, I'm just doing some backlog pruning here. This is no longer necessary. This is no longer necessary. I don't think this is necessary anymore. This is no longer necessary. I don't think this one is necessary anymore either. Oh, that one, I should probably fix that. Okay. All right, let's think about doing some new content. I mean, I do need to finish the werewolf art. I'm not feeling particularly inspired on that one. I struggled with that, like I said, last night for a good 1.5 or 2 hours. So I'm letting that one sit for a bit before I go back into it. But we can do some other things here. I was working on a patrol or on a portal system, then Manifold Garden releases. Then I wanted to extend it with mirroring and Art of the Reflection is announced. Oh. A good way to get back into game dev is to take an existing game and change some stuff to make it unique. Subnautica was originally just an underwater Minecraft clone. Interesting. Never had a proper game idea, but now it feels like I've been poisoned by seeing the new releases. Well, here's the thing too, it's like... So there was a kind of game that I was thinking about making before Alchemortis, which was basically to take the Path of Exile skill tree system and make that the entire game. So, like, distill the game down to basically just putting points in your skill tree, and it's like a huge, humongous skill tree, and then make it sort of like an auto battler where you're just managing this or not skill tree, the passive tree, right? And then I was like, okay, cool. I even went through the effort of prototyping that idea. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't think anyone's ever done this before. And then what do I find on Steam like a week later? There's a game that did exactly that. And I was like, son of a biscuit. But I mean, the other thing you have to consider too is that even if the idea is there, the people that... So another game may not execute that idea very well, or it may have some flaws or deficiencies that you could address, and even just doing that would make your game stand apart from that game, right? So I could have proceeded with that skill tree idea and just like done things a little bit differently, or like improved some aspect of that game for that idea, right? So I think like even if you are largely doing the same thing, even just executing the idea better or having a different like power fantasy or a different theme to the game, that can be enough to set you apart too. Like I don't think you need to worry so much about being 100% original. I think the only thing that really needs to be original is like the art and the theme. And then like have like a couple of mechanics that are like kind of unique to your game, and that's it. But I'm just a guy on the internet, so don't take my advice as gospel truth or my opinions. Anyway, what kind of content do we want to do here? We could do a new card, we could do a new artifact. What are we missing? I mean, we're missing boss cards, right? We need a boss card. We don't have a whole lot of enchants. We don't have a whole lot of legendary abilities either. So we could do new legendary abilities. Do I have any do I have any reagent idea? Let's see. Oh, mystery juice would be a fun reagent. Add a random effect to an item. Choose any item randomly, then choose a random ability from that item. Can I help you, Cat? Should we do mystery juice? Let's do mystery juice. This was Jackie Daytona's suggestion, I believe. This one is going to be a lot of fun, I think, actually. I think the main concern I had with this one was like the dowsing rod previously had no abilities, so it's possible that the mystery juice could add nothing. But I don't think that's a problem anymore, because the dowsing rod now has an ability. So let's do that. Mystery juice. We don't have any reagents that are like this weird size, but that's okay. Probably just do a 1x2 here. Create that. Let's go into the land of A Sprite, and we'll open. This is a reference image that I was using for the werewolf. did not go well. Alchemortis, assets, card, mystery juice, open this up, new layer, load default palette. Okay. That'll work, I think. Why is this so difficult? Let's just keep it simple. We'll just keep it simple. I think that probably works. Yeah, that probably works. What will this juice do? The juice will just grab a random ability from like the entire list of items in the game and will add that to your alchemy output. I think it's a pretty cool idea. Let's see. I think that's probably fine. I guess that's all right. I have a lot of bottles in this game, but it's an alchemy game after all, so. The juice will make you loose. Thank you, X Jokes. Well, you said so far, but I think that's it for the art for this one. I think it's okay. I mean, I'm getting to the point in development where I can't be spending too much time on art because I need to get a lot of content done. That doesn't mean I'm going to be, you know, lazy and just like putting in art in the game that doesn't look good, but I will definitely be putting art in the game that's like less than perfect or less than like amazing, just as long as it looks nice enough, especially for things like reagents and whatnot. The things where I'll spend a lot of time will probably be like the boss cards or like the bigger items that have more detail. You think it's perfect? Awesome. Okay, good. All right, so we have the mystery juice in place. I guess we'll call it mystery. I don't know, juice is kind of a weird word, but we could keep it mystery juice, I suppose. We've got to remember to add the flavor text. This is 1x2. This is a reagent. All right, cool. So now I need to do something a little bit interesting. So this is going to be quite interesting. I think I need to pass the RNG. Let me think about this. I'm trying to figure out if I can use this alchemy added ability here. I actually don't think I can. I think I need to make this a new ability here. I think I need to make a new one. Alchemy. Random. Let's do global random added ability. Global random alchemy, global random added ability, global random added ability. So I actually don't, we probably do want this configure query, but we're going to get rid of the added ability here. We're getting rid of this. That goes away. We will change the description. Change me. Get rid of that. Okay. So when we do the contribute effect here, we need the RNG object in here. So public random number generator RNG. Get init. Why are these not marked as required? Required. Is this using the proper RNG? Yes, okay. Right, I used the wrong random number generator. Okay. Do we want to do all cards or just player cards here? Like, should we also enable the player to gain an enemy ability? Like apple and orange juice gone very bad. Oh, gotcha, yeah. Mystery tonic. That could be a good one. I mean, we could keep it as juice. I guess I don't have too much of a problem with that. Oh. So yeah, do we want this to choose any ability from any card or just limit it to player ones? Oh, the other problem is this may choose reagent abilities, which is yeah, that's a problem. Maybe all non-boss abilities. All non-boss combat IDs. This is kind of a mess, but that's okay. if not resource is boss and not resource dot has tags dot has flag card tags dot card tag dot reagent. Okay. All non-boss combat IDs var random card ID I don't want this here. We'll fix the remaining issues when they come up. Card factory. Random ability is equal to random card dot get base composed abilities dot where x dot is alchemizable. Let's just do order by x context dot rng dot rand I take 1 if random ability equals null. We'll just do data initializer dot log dot warning, and we'll just return let's duplicate there. We're also going to duplicate here. We need to wrap this in the for loop. Oops. Okay, so if the effect multiplier is more than one effect multiplier, no, we don't want to do this. Yeah. So we basically want to choose 2 random abilities if this is going to be affected multiple times by that pot artifact we have. Okay, So now what I can do in my mystery juice is I can do new alchemy global random added ability. Bottom edge. So now we got to update the description here. Adds a random ability to that. Okay, let's build. Cannot access a disposed object. What? Okay. I'm also going to run my tests a little bit here because I did change the test. I just want to make sure that it works. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome back. How do I look at the output here? How do I look at the output? Oh, gosh. I forgot how to do this. Huh? Okay, well, I'll look at that later. I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, let's see if the mystery juice works. Did it not add the mystery juice or did I? Oh, I'm loading my save still. That's why. I was still loading the save file. Why does that have an extra ability slot? Oh, that's not good. We'll do it. We got to fix that bug. Reagents are showing additional ability slots. How'd the werewolf turn out? I didn't finish the werewolf yet. I mean, this is, I think you saw this, right? So that's the art, which still needs work. But the werewolf abilities turned out great, yeah. Mystery juice. Okay, here we go. There we go. Deal 2 damage per adjacent allied weapon. Apply 3 poison. Well, interesting. That also needs to show that it's going to have 1 ability replaced. Okay. Did that not do anything? So I think the mystery juice is not working when I have a full list of abilities. Oh no, it works. Projects to adjacent allied items applied to fire. Wow, look at that. So it's definitely adding some random abilities. Actually, I should check my logs here. No warnings. Apply 6 armor, very cool. Mystery juice is a success. I think it works, but I need to figure out fix tooltip showing 0 abilities added. I wonder why that's happening. Oh, I left while you were working on the bleed for damage. Oh yeah. So I could just show you the final card then. The final item. So the final werewolf, well not final because I need to finish the art, but it deals 10 damage, it deals 8 damage, and it applies 3 bleed for each time this item dealt damage. So yeah, so basically, you know, it's like a multi-attack kind of deal. You've got the right hook and the left hook, and then applying a bleed based on how many times damage was done. And then, you know, obviously that bleed ability is going to be very strong if you can get just like a bunch of damage applications. I mean, this would become really good with the spiders, right? The spiderlings that you get. So the spiderlings just deal 1 damage, right? But it could be feasible if you're doing a bleed build to just like stack up a bunch of those 1 damage things alongside this ability. And so you could apply like basically 3 bleed per 1 damage that you deal. Actually, I'm kind of wondering... Yeah. Hello, or thank you, Indie Private, for the ZAR35. Thank you, appreciate that. You're my favorite game dev to watch. Awesome, I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for being here. Glad that you guys are enjoying the streams, that's why I do them. But thank you again, it's very generous. Sounds like fun, yeah. Is there an ability to play an item twice, like a multicast? Yeah, Echo. I mean, it doesn't play the item twice. There is the Cursed Figurehead. This item will execute again if at least some amount of self-damage was taken. So yeah. But I could definitely do more with that. Like that's how the old Echo worked. Like Echo months ago used to work like it just replayed the entire card, but that was a little bit too powerful. So Echo now just chooses a random ability to execute again. But there is this concept of rerunning the entire card execution, which I can definitely make use of in some situations. So yeah, there's a couple of issues here that I need to fix. Like this should say that it's going to get 1 ability. Oh, it does say that. This item will gain 1 ability. Have one. Why did it say 0 one time? Oh, maybe I just did it wrong. Okay, so it is working. Never mind. Why is that one not working? Oh, it is working. Wait. Oh, it is working. It's always on the left edge of the board. Okay. Right. The Viper, because it touches the left edge of the board no matter where I put it, it just always has a 10. Well, I could check that. Let me just make sure that's working. Yeah, it has a turn cooldown of 12, so 10 is correct. Okay. Excellent. So that works. So this is actually not correct. So I just need to do flavor text for it. There was another thing that I was going to do that I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Oh no. Should the strange man keep legendary and legendary ability after transforming? Yeah, we could do that. There was something I was going to do. I just had it in the top of my mind. And, oh yeah, I need to figure out why this test is failing. It's supposed to be putting out a log, but I don't know why. Why can't I see the log? I used to be able to see the log. Show result output. Why am I not seeing... Why am I not seeing these prints? What the heck? Huh? Why can't I see this thing? Okay, let's rerun this. I just want to see if I can see the output. I would still put it on that werewolf myself. Oh, nice. Okay. Super Echo was broken and fun. Yes, it was. Why can I not see the output anymore? There was a way to do this, and I don't remember. All right, well, I'll have to figure that out. This test case did not report any output. How do you start making games? Pick an engine that you want that you want to use. Do some research on whichever engine you might want to use, and then find some YouTube videos, blogs, other things for how to get started. There's plenty of beginner resources available now on the internet for you to look at. So yeah, like if you're going to use Godot, just go download Godot, find a absolute beginner Godot tutorial, and go from there. That's it. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to learn everything that you need to learn to be able to make your own games, but that's how you start anyway. Okay, well, I need to figure out why this test output is not working. In any case, I'm going to end the stream there. I'm learning Unity and it's very overwhelming. Yeah, it's going to be overwhelming. There's a lot of... If you don't have any programming experience, there's a lot of learning curves stacked on top of each other, right? Like there's a learning curve of figuring out how to do programming and how to write code and all that stuff. But then there's a learning curve of like how to work with the specific engine, because the engine is its own technical tool as well. So you got to figure out how the engine expects you to work inside of it. And then of course there's the visual aspect of it, right? Like making the art, making the visual effects, all that stuff. Like it's going to be overwhelming at first. And I mean, game dev is just a really hard thing to do. That's the unfortunate reality, is like learning programming is hard enough, but then learning programming on top of a technical tool like an engine, and then learning how to make a game work in the way that you want it to work and look the way that you want it to look. That's a lot of complex stuff all stacked on top of each other. So yeah, it is very overwhelming, but you just got to take it small steps at a time. You know, if you're using Unity, just try to get like a capsule moving around. You just got to start somewhere, you know, just build up that knowledge. I really know Lua the best, so I've been trying to default and Leadworks. Godot plus GDQuest free courses are an easy way for me to start. Yeah, GDQuest is great. Thank you, Clickertail. Then I picked up their paid course and did all of them for 2D Nice. How long does it take for you? Well, I've been doing game development since I was 14, and I am now 31. So you have to be, this is the unfortunate thing about game development. If you want to get good at making games, or good enough at making games, you have to be prepared for like a multiple year-long effort. Like you're not, unless you're some kind of prodigy, you're not going to go from zero knowledge whatsoever to making a commercially viable Steam game in 6 months. Like it's very rare the kind of person that can do that. But it's one of those things where it's going to take years of effort to master. And, you know, it wasn't even until the past like 4 or 5 years or so that I really started getting serious about game development and like trying like conscientiously to improve my game development skills. So yeah, It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. Great advice. If you're a beginner, suggest Godot. Actually, even if you're not, Unity is better for 3D, but be prepared to spend a lot of time just fighting with the engine and UI. Yeah. That's my impression of Unity, but I don't know anything about Unity. Thanks for the advice. You're welcome. Check Godot out. Yeah, for sure. Been coding since 2012 myself. Yeah. I remember GameMaker 5. Yep. I think I started with GameMaker 7 or something like that. Back when I was 14 or 15 on my Windows XP home computer. It wasn't my computer, it was my mom's computer, but sometimes I was allowed to go on the computer and, do game development stuff. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Don't make me think about that. Oh gosh. It was like 2008, 2007. Something like that. Where does the time go? Will you still be using Godot for 3D projects in the future? I'm probably going to stick with Godot for the long haul, I think. I mean, I don't see any reason. Like, there's nothing that I'm seeing in any other engine that is like a compelling reason for me to switch off of Godot. And a lot of that is because I'm not making like super high visual fidelity games. Like, there's nothing that Unreal offers that I'm like, man, I wish I had that. Because I'm just making 2D games. And even if I made a 3D game, the 3D game wouldn't be like super visually impressive anyway, or at least from like a visual fidelity standpoint. I'd probably just do something like low poly with like pixel art textures, something that's very, very basic and well within the realm of something that Godot can handle, right? But plus you have to consider that Godot is actively being developed and more big players are starting to adopt Godot and contribute to Godot. And so I think it's not unreasonable to expect that in the next several years, Godot will start to approach at least the level of Unity with respect to, its capability when it comes to 3D and stuff. So yeah, I just don't see, like, there's nothing, no other engine is offering anything compelling that even makes me want to consider dropping Godot. I just love Godot so much. It's perfect. I've got the workflow down. I'm proficient in the tool, and the kinds of games that I'm making are not, super complex to begin with. So anyway, yeah, I love Godot. We're sticking with Godot. This is a Godot fanboy channel. I don't want to hear anyone say ever anything bad about Godot or you'll be banned. I'm just kidding, of course. To each their own. If there's another engine that you like to use, then by all means use that. The most important thing is to use the tool that you're most proficient and comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, we're just trying to make games, right? So the tool is just, it's just that. It's the tool to get you to that state. Have you considered experimenting with S and Box when it comes out? I need to look into that. I've heard that mentioned a couple times, but I don't know anything about it. So yeah, I'll look into that for sure. Anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. I may do a bonus stream later today, so keep an eye on the Discord for announcements that may come through about that. Otherwise, you could wishlist Alchemortis on Steam. It's linked in the description below. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the new people in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you in the next ones. And I appreciate all of your support. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.